in order to understand whether a living thing is useful to us or not so useful to us or even harmful to us, we need to take the help of taxonomy. First, we need to place all those characters that are most similar with all animals, and we will end our hierarchy with those characters that are only specific to dogs only, or that particular breed of dog only. It eats meat, it is a carnivore. So we have excluded the herbivores, we have placed dogs into carnivore.
Thank you for watching this video.
So this taxonomy, as we have seen, can be divided into two parts. Taxonomy itself can be divided into two parts. One is numerical taxonomy or phonetics, and another is evolutionary or lineage based taxonomy called cladistics. What does phonetics do? Phonetics groups or classify animals based on the number of similar characters and divides animal groups or divides living groups based on number of dissimilar characters. So it is based on, the grouping is based on number of similar and dissimilar characters. Whereas the cladistics groups living things or divides the various groups among living things based on evolutionary characteristics, based on evolutionary trends and characteristics. This is a quantitative approach, this is a qualitative approach. In order to classify, identify animals, we need various keys or aids. In order to classify plants, in order to identify plants or to discover new plant species, we need a point of reference. The various points of reference that are helpful in taxonomy are: number one, herbariums; number two, museum specimens, museum specimens; number three, now herbarium and museum specimens, as we all know, are dead plants and animals that are preserved. However, if we need to study the living plants, the living animals, how they interact, how they are similar or dissimilar with a certain animal group or a plant group, we need to look into botanical gardens, and to study animals, botanical gardens for plants, and to study animals, zoological parks, like the zoos we have. So another important thing about taxonomy is the hierarchy, right? Is the hierarchy. Now, what is hierarchy? The various levels of organization in which we can group a particular plant or a particular animal, and based on the hierarchy, we will follow a gradient of most similar characters to least similar characters to characters that are unique or characters that are absolutely confined to a particular group of animals. The key identification features of that particular group of animal or particular group of plant. We term them as taxonomies hierarchies, and the groups are known as the taxonomic keys. There are various taxonomic keys, such as if we identify a new plant or animal species that has no records in herbariums, museums, botanical gardens, or zoological gardens. These are the keys and these are the aids. So, if you discover or if you people identify a plant or an animal or a part of a plant or a part of an animal that has no record in the herbarium, the museums, the botanical gardens, the zoological parks, it is deemed as a new specimen or a new animal group or a plant group known as a holotype. And all the other similar living things identical to the holotype are known as the isotypes. And there are various other keys. These are not very much required, but just to give you an understanding about how taxonomy works in the practical field. So, what is the need of all this? Why should we prepare herbariums made of dried leaves and stems and flowered parts? And why do we need to build huge museums and preserve animal bodies? Why do we need to make botanical gardens? Why do we need to construct zoological parks? See, taxonomy has a very important role in our lives. Suppose there is a new kind of disease for which there is no antidote. Maybe, just maybe, there is a plant deep in the Amazon rainforest or deep in the western ghats of our country that has a few chemicals in it. The leaves of that plant may have a few chemicals in it that may cure the disease or that can cure the disease. So, if we know a relative of that plant is existing nearby, near to home, or we can culture that plant based on records found in herbariums, museum specimens, and so on, we can easily find the cure for that disease. If we find an animal and we can classify it, and if we can uh, categorize it based on the various taxonomic aids and the various taxonomic keys, we may find that animal helpful in agriculture. We may find the animal helpful in terms of various proteins or hormones or enzymes it produces that can cure various diseases, or it can help increase yields of various things that we produce. So, in order to understand whether a living thing is useful to us or not so useful to us or even harmful to us, we need to take the help of taxonomy. Okay, so the phonetics, cladistics, the taxonomic aids and keys, we have given a brief idea. So now let's look into the taxonomic hierarchies. The hierarchy. The first part of the hierarchy is about highest similar characters to least similar characters. This is how hierarchy is constructed. Now these characters are evolutionary characters. Characters that has been acquired through millions of years of evolution, and generally it works like this. We go from most similar characters to the least similar characters of a particular animal or a particular plant in relation with all other animals and all other plants. Suppose we take dog, right? To classify dog in terms of taxonomic aids, we need to assess all the evolutionary characteristics of the dog or the group of dogs based on the hierarchy system. First, we need to place all those characters that are most similar with all animals, and we will end our hierarchy with those characters that are only specific to dogs only, or that particular breed of dog only. Let's look into it. First we have domain. Now, what is a domain? Domain is the largest unit of hierarchy. Now, all these units of hierarchy are known as taxon. The units of hierarchy are known as taxon. Okay, like domain. Domain is a unit of hierarchy or a key of hierarchy. Domain is a taxon. So, dogs are made up of eukaryotic cells. So, we will write in domain eukarya. Eukarya. Next comes the kingdom. This is another taxon. This is another taxon. Dog is an animal, so kingdom Animalia. See, as we are progressing, the degree of similarity is reducing. First is domain eukarya. That means all dogs are made up of eukaryotic cells. So the domain is eukarya. This domain eukarya also includes plants. It also includes fungus. It also includes protistans like the protozoa. So this is the highest degree of similarity, the highest degree of similarity with all the entire animal kingdom, the domain. Next is Animalia. A dog is an animal, so it is similar to all animals. It has got the basic features that are required to call an organism an animal. What are those? We will come in a later part. First, let's understand this. Animalia. So, from eukarya, we have jumped into Animalia. We have excluded plants, we have excluded fungi, we have excluded uh, we have excluded all the what we say, the amoeba and everything we have excluded. We have just kept the animals. So similarity is decreasing from highest to lowest. It is decreasing as we come down the taxons. The taxons. Next we come the phylum. This is another taxon. Every dog is made up of an endoskeleton which consists of a vertebral column. So we can say it is vertebrata as it has a vertebral column. Then we have class. A dog has mammary glands. All young dogs or puppies, they drink the milk of their mothers. So it is belonging to the class Mammalia. Order. This is another taxon. All dogs are carnivores. They are meat eaters. They eat meat, preferably. So they fall into the order Carnivora. Okay, now let's see, from kingdom Animalia, we have come into phylum Vertebrata, meaning a dog consists of a vertebral column. We have excluded all other animals that do not have a vertebral column, like insects, like earthworms, like leeches, like octopus. We have all excluded the animals. We have only placed the dog under a phylum of animals or a group of animals consisting of a vertebral column. We have placed dog in a similar bracket of birds, in a similar bracket of reptiles, in a similar bracket of amphibians. But we know a dog is not a reptile, not a bird, not an amphibian. It is a mammal. So we have assigned the class Mammalia to the dog. We have excluded all other vertebrate animals. We have only kept those animals that have mammary glands that produce milk, that is Mammalia. This bracket includes the platypus, the kangaroos, the humans, the whales, the deer, sheep, uh, bisons, buffaloes, elephants, rhinos, everything. But we know a dog has canine teeth, it eats meat, it is a carnivore. So we have excluded the herbivores, we have placed dogs into carnivores. That is, the degree of similarity is slowly decreasing as we progress down each taxon. Then we have kingdom, phylum, class, order, family, the next taxon, the family. The family is Canidae, the Canidae. Canidae means animals that have very big canine teeth. Canidae. All dogs fall into Canidae. Now, when we were in carnivora, we put dogs in a similar brackets as that of lions, tigers, cats, jackals, hyenas, everything. Every mammal that eats meat, we placed dogs into them. But we excluded the cats, the tigers, the lions because they are not similar to dogs. It is the Canidae. This Canidae family includes dogs and some bear species. Next, we have the genus. It is Felis. Sorry, it is Canis. Canis. It is Canis.